Alrighty, incredible evening, everyone. Incredible evening. This is going to be a quick one, um, because I got a question about something. So just like lucked out that my client did not come because I wasn't at home at the time to pick up their shirts. Um, so since they have to come back anyway, I decided to go ahead, and this is one that was like already on the Roland. So I decided to print another one so that I can go over the Eco Solvent shirt prints and like the shirt transfers again and breaking this whole thing down because I got a question about it. And since I had one that I was working on, I said, hey, let's go live and talk about it. And I told her I was going to go live about it. So, like I said, these are already done. Um, this is a next level, and then this is also a next level, but it's just a different type. This is a polyester cotton mix, and this is a straight cotton shirt. So we're going to go over the whole transfer thing and transfer process. All right. So, incredible evening, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the parent company of Soulholics Anonymous, Honestly Speaking, and 365 Creative Academy, where I will, our T-shirt Academy, the information will be going out soon. About the T-shirt Academy, and we're going to go over several different ways that you can make shirts. So I'm going to teach you and give you information about several ways. Does not mean that you need to try and figure out how to do all of these different ways. I'm going to break down the pros and cons of each of the ways, and when it comes to like mass production, if it's a one-off, and which ones as far as like being more profitable, which one's going to be easier to get into. So in the T-shirt Academy, we're going to go over all that. Like we're really going to go through a lot of the key details for making shirts, whether it's you're just doing custom and decorating apparel, or you're going to start a clothing line and knowing what's going to be the best for you. All right. So, like I said, this is from the title, you guys know this is an eco solvent transfer. This is not like Jet Pro. I have a whole video where I talked about what's the hype behind eco solvent transfers and why everybody's like getting into it. So it's this whole thing of being able to do a full color print and not have to like piece things together. It really is no different than like Jet Pro 3G transfers for darks. The only thing is that it has a masking. Now, lately, some people have been, being able to use the masking, like the same masking for the Jet Pro, like different printable transfers for darks. However, it's a little bit harder to pick up compared to like these. So right now it's trending where a lot of people are converting printers. I'm not going to get into the whole conversion. If you want to know more about that, I do have a video where I broke all of that down. You do not have to use just an Epson printer. This is not like Sublimation where it has to be a heat-free printer. These are printed on a Roland BN20. Roland BN20, which is an actual eco-solvent printer. It is a beginner level eco-solvent printer. It uses heat. So your printer does not have to be heat-free for eco-solvent. It is not like Sublimation. It is how it prints, and what you see is what you get. So the colors don't become brighter or anything like that once you go and you press it. What you see is what you get when it comes to the eco solvent prints. So you print it out, and it's basically a big old print and cut. That's really what it is. So if you've ever done a sticker, if you've ever done a cutout, like a table centerpiece, if you've ever done let's say cake toppers, things like that, you've done a print and cut, you are already equipped to you are already equipped to be able to make and do these if you've already done a print and cut, whether it's with a Cricut, if it's with a Silhouette, your a Brother Scan and Cut. If you've ever done a print and cut, you're already equipped for this. Now, I use a BN20. It prints it and cuts it all in one. I don't have to take it out or anything like that. Whereas with the converted printers, and when you're doing like a desktop one, you print it out, you have the registration marks on it, then you have to put it on your mat, and then it will read the registration marks, and then it'll go ahead and cut it out. I will say this: the desktop printers print a lot faster than the Roland BN20. For just one of these, which I'm going to show you the one that's here. So I decided to, oh no, don't get stuck. I don't want to have to do the transfer sheet. I'm going to use the same one I've been using. So I could have very well done white vinyl, because there's actually a number on here, and I could have done white vinyl. But this would have been wasted vinyl anyway, so I let it cut. This is still HTV, so it doesn't have to have like a print on it. This right here, like just this, took 32 minutes to print and cut. So with a Roland, it is not a fast process, and that's the main reason why I'm doing this video, is to discuss the fact that it is not a fast process when you are working with the BN20. This is on the standard print setting, and it took 32 minutes to print this and cut it. 32 minutes. Really long time. So you can technically get more done when it comes to a desktop printer. It's going to print out a whole lot faster. And then, of course, you'll load it onto your mat and then cut it out. So you can probably get a couple of them done compared to this. We'll say that. Now, the other, like the really, really big ones, they print a lot faster than the Roland BN20. Some of the bigger Roland printers and bigger Solvent, Eco Solvent, and latex printer will actually print a little bit faster than this one does. All right. So we're going to weed it out. A lot of people go to sublimation because they're like, okay, yeah, I'm tired of weeding. I don't want to weed anymore. I just want to do sublimation. But then people start doing Eco Solvent. Oh, now this is all the rage. This is all the craze, right? Well, guess what? You still have to weed this. This is not self-weeding or something that doesn't require weeding. If you want something that doesn't require weeding, that's where your, and it's a transfer format. That's where your DTF comes in and your white toner transfers. So those you don't have to weed. You end up putting an adhesive on. It prints as is. You put an adhesive on the back. The adhesive basically adheres only to where there's ink or toner. With this, you still have to weed. So if you have something that has a lot of cavities, you still have to weed. The only thing that you're not doing is, like, let's say for this taco, you're not weeding out this many colors. But if this wasn't here, it will really be no different in getting the green vinyl, the orange vinyl, the red vinyl, and then like in this case over here, the black vinyl, and cutting it and then weeding it. It really would be no different than that. Okay. So a lot of people always say they want to, it's like jumping on the different trends. You got into sublimation because you didn't want to weed. But when you go back to this, because everyone's doing Eco Solvent transfers, you still got to weed. So we're going to go ahead and weed this. If you guys have any questions while I'm weeding it, go ahead and post them. I'll do my best to answer them. I don't see any questions over on Facebook and YouTube. Incredible evening to everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, hit that share button. Over here on TikTok, let's see. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Incredible evening. Do I make transfers? Technically, no. Because the orders will probably come in really fast. And right now I'm focused on my classes. So as of right now, no, we do not offer transfers outside of the ones that I make for my clients. Would you recommend this for beginners? I mean, print and cut works for beginners. I mean, so it's not like anything can be used for beginners. Literally any method of making shirts a beginner can do, because you're going to have to learn the method no matter what. Now, this is a really large investment. This is a really large investment for the Roland. This is a couple thousand. I got the Roland with the metallic setup. I got a full set of cartridges. I didn't do like the smaller EcoSol cartridges, and I had, because I mainly wanted mine for decals, for vinyl decals. I have a laminator, so my setup was about 10,000 because I have metallic ink and I have a laminator. Oh, you know what? I forgot to. Now this. Oh, the other thing about Roland, when you're pricing, this other thing we're going to go over as well, where it's not just the size of it. You have to know your machine and know how much wasted vinyl. This is going to always happen. It's never going to print right at the top, because if it does, you can end up getting head strikes and you'll mess up your thousands of dollar printer. But I forgot to adjust. I was cutting something else and I forgot to adjust the print settings. So I don't know if this ideally cut. Okay, it looks like it did, because I just remembered I forgot to change the cut settings. All right, so still gonna weed this. And you're gonna see some extra on here because I put a bleed to ensure that I don't have any white. So I designed this, or set it up, because they said this. I did have to make some adjustments to this because of the file that they sent. But I put a bleed for all the colors, and then for the taco, it's just brown because it was brown around it. So I put that bleed so that when it cuts, I don't have any white. So you're going to see some color left on the negative part. Let's see. I've heard can't use standard printable HTV. That transfer paper you need to purchase. Wait, what transfer do you need to purchase for the desktop? So, of course, if you have Solvent ink in it, yes, you can get the printable transfer. So that's your printable HTV. So that's your Easy Color Print. Stalls has a brand as well. I really want to try the Stalls. I keep someone to order and I keep forgetting. So I need to order the Stalls. So you can get like the Caesar color print, and they have like one that's like matte, and they have another, because I have two different ones in my workspace. And this right here is actually Subli thin. This, it looks the same. It will look almost the same, but it's not. With whenever you have a shirt that has polyester, even if it's 3% polyester, you have to get a special type of vinyl. And that is one of the things that I don't hear people talk about when it comes to like this whole trend of eco-solvent printers. No one's talking about the fact that, yes, you can put it on colored shirts, but it needs to be, if you're going to use the one that everyone's recommending, which is Caesar Color Print, that is only for 100% cotton shirts. If your shirt has at even 3% of polyester, you cannot use the color print. The dye in the polyester will bleed through, and you will have a not so cute mess on your hand. So you have to use what's called Subli thin. It has a dye block. There's one that is white and it's a bit thinner, and then there's one that has a black or like a grayish background to it. I don't hear enough people talk about the fact that you need Subli thin. All they talk about is Caesar Easy Weed color print, and that's not the only thing that you have to get. So you're if you're going to do a mixture of shirts, like I said, these next levels, they have 40% polyester. I could never use the color print. You have to use Subli thin. So if it's actual printable HTV, yes, you can use it with either the Roland or the converted printers. Now, if you have just a regular desktop printer that uses dye ink or pigment ink, no, you cannot print to the printable HTV. That's when you'll have to use like your Jet Pro 3Gs, your Starcraft, your Jolie, if you want like the cheaper brand, like from the craft stores. So regular desktops, they use dye ink, or if it uses pigment ink, you can't use any of the actual HTV. You have to use, it's like a film. It's a transfer. It is not HTV. All right, we have to learn our terminology, and I really wish people would educate people a little bit more when it comes to the different types of materials. What printer would you recommend for beginners? For what? For the eco solvent? I don't really Hi, Tracy May Joyner. I actually love watching y'all. She is a Tumblr guru. Okay, she be doing her thing. Her husband maybe blindfolded. Hi, Hans. All right, so I don't have any recommendations when it comes to converting printers. I don't convert the printers. I have a Canon that I will be using. So I wanted to show that you don't have to use an Epson printer. Any printer will work as long as it's either EcoTank or some type of tank system, or there are refillable cartridges for it. For EcoSolvent, technically, really any printer will work. People are using EcoTanks. People are using the Epson the new workforce printers, which I don't really recommend. Again, go to my YouTube channel, Honestly Speaking, put Honestly Speaking EcoSolvent hype. And when I tell you I break it all down, I break it all down, all of it. All right. So for EcoSolvent, I don't really, I'm going to at some point finish my conversion because the mother one, it was defective. It had a piece broken on the inside. So I have a Canon Pixma, I forget the number is. I'm going to eventually put EcoSolvent ink in there. I'm going to probably give it away because I don't have any space for printers. So I don't really have any major recommendations for the converted ones because when I wanted to do this, I went with the real deal. I went straight to the entry-level printer, which is a Roland BN20. Roland BN20. So over here on YouTube, I haven't experienced any issues so far with my poly shirts, maybe because the heat is not so high. Is it just like using Easy Subli and yes, correct. It is just like using Easy Subli and Sublimation ink. No, it's not completely different. It's basically the same as far as what the process is, and it is material that you're going to cut. If you have like a sawgrass, it's the same thing. You print directly to it and you cut it because you don't mirror it. It's this way. You mask it and then you go. Same exact process. Now, if you're using a converted printer, you can't put water-based ink on Easy Subli. So I normally just cut it. I print to the sublimation paper. Okay, Papa, go, Papa. Okay, go tell Daddy. Okay, go tell Daddy. And I print the sublimation paper and then I press it to it only because I don't use my sawgrass for it. But at the end of the day, yes, it is the exact same thing. Let's see. What about Color Sure I've never used the HTV Runt, whatever they are. I've never used anything from that company, so I would not be able to tell you. All right. I've never used any of their products. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish weeding this because it's going to take way longer than it needed to. Hold on, y'all. MJ's yelling at Zion mind like he has no sense. All right, so I just wanted to show that there is a little bit of ink on there because I do a bleed. And this is all I'm saying. So if you're trying to avoid weeding, you're going to have to weed no matter what with this. So if you're wanting to avoid weeding, do not get into EcoSolvent printing because you'll be back to weeding because this is HTV. It's no different. The only thing is you're just going to have to do multiple colors. You can print it all out. And even when you have white, you can leave it there because hey, the vinyl is white and it'll act just like regular vinyl, and you can pretty much have it all in one. So I'll show you, like I said, I'll show you what these are going to look like the final one, because I've already done the actual two. Sorry about that. That was an Amber Alert. Child kidnapped in West Palm Beach. So if you're in the South Florida area, be on the lookout. I'm pretty sure you got the Amber Alert as well. Actually, it's probably all of Florida has that Amber Alert. This is my bad weeding tool. I like my other one that has the hook. So this one, I gotta poke it a little bit too much to get out the cavities. So when you guys are ordering these transfers, this is why people charge what they charge, because it's not like DTF where you just print, put a powder on the back and set it. Like, they still have to weed all of these out. Now, that is one thing I said. If I do transfers, I'm telling you right now, what I will not be doing is I will not be weeding out transfers. When we do go into production for printing these, if you want it weeded out, it's going to be an extra cost because everything is cut for you. All you have to do is just weed it yourself. So that is one thing that I did say when we do start back, we do get to selling transfers, it will be a separate fee for us to weed it out. We can print it for you. We'll let it cut. But as far as weeding it out, this is Team 2 merch. Yes, I figured this is where it was going to have the issue at with these smaller ones. I forgot to change my blade. So this is going to be a little funky. In certain parts. Because I was working on a different job. Because regular adhesive vinyl, especially the one that I have a really, really thin one. It's much, much thinner than this. So I was cutting that and I forgot to adjust my settings. So it's not like quite ideal for this particular material. Ooh, child, I can't see. I really should have got my other weeding tool for these little cavities. It's much sharper. Danny, one of my followers, gave it to me. For this kind of stuff, that little pin, because it's so sharp, works so much better. Get you a good weeding tool. Danny got me the pen one from Amazon, and it actually works way better than these thicker tip weeding tools, like with piercing it and getting it out. Oh, come on. So while I'm going through this, I'll talk about some other things. You won't really get to see me like mask this off. I find that on here, it doesn't stick as well. I need to move over to my desk, which is a harder surface. Dang it. The harder the surface, to me, it helps it adhere to the adhesive, to the transfer tape a lot better. So on here, it's a little weird trying to do it on this space, but I don't want to move my camera. And then I had to move the camera that's for TikTok and all that kind of good jazz. So yeah, we're not going to do all that. I'm going to put it on there. Then I'm going to take my squeegee and put it on my desk and weed it. And then we're going to come back and press it. one more in here. It's just I don't see the white because it's all orange. But there's one more piece in there. All right. So there we go. Where are thou scissors? Where are my scissors? And so to save on space, this is actually going on the bottom, but the way the Roland prints, it prints the full 18.9 inches like across. So you want to try and take up as much space as possible because it's going to print it regardless. So I put this at the top to one also save on vinyl, but it is going to go to the bottom of this. So we're just going to cut this off. And then I'll put it on there. So I'm going to take this one. I don't need all this extra on here. And we're going to fold it, crease the top and bottom. That's going to let me know my center point. I'm going to do the same thing on this. I like to do it before I get the masking tape on there. So we're going to crease and crease. And then crease this one. I do have videos on how to create the QR codes. It's free through Google. And then like in Silhouette Studio, I always put something, it comes with a little dinosaur. So I always put something else in here. So in this case, I put their taco in the middle and it does scan because I've already checked it. All right. Let's see. Questions. Yes, I am in Florida, in Miami, born and raised in the county of Dade. Sublimation is well, I get mine from Florida Flex and from Economy Sign Supply. It's two local places here in South Florida. I am in South Florida. We have a lot of distributors here, so I don't really have to look outside and like look online. So I will say that's one of the areas where I'm a little slacking. But what's the thing called? Sign warehouse, I think it is where I used to get like vinyl and stuff from. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have it. Brilliant Vinyl, Heat Transfer Warehouse. Hello, Heat Transfer Warehouse. They should have it as well. Heat Press Nation should also have it. So check out those places. But I get all my stuff locally because here in South Florida, we got some of everything. What about Sure Color? Oh, no, I saw that. Okay, I read that one. Okay, wait a minute. Hello. Who said, hey, Professor? Luminous Designs, incredible evening. Is EcoSolvent a permanent transfer like HTV? Yes, it is. Can you share my website? Sure. Let me go right here. It is shop.hsink365.com. Can you use EcoSolvent ink and cartridges, or is it only for tanks? You can use it in cartridge-based printers. Watch my video on that because people always say, no, I don't have an issue with the color, but I can clearly see the difference in the color where skin tones look very pale with using a pigment ink printer. So ideally, the EcoTank ones are better because they are a dye-based printer and it looks closer to the way EcoSolvent ink is compared to pigment ink. But check out my video because I show you the inks and everything. I break it all down. Does my EcoSolvent bleed a little? No, I use a Roland BN20. So no, it does not bleed at all. Does your ink bleed out a little? No, it does not. Eva Divine's Creations, because I use a Roland BN20. Use a Roland. Are you getting bleed? Mine does not. Just got it on. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. Was late. What you making? It's in the description. EcoSolvent print transfers. When you print your logo stickers, do you set it at multiple on a page in Silhouette before moving into VersaWorks? Yes. However many I'm going to actually print, I set up that file in Silhouette that way. All right, so let's get into this. Let's first put the masking on. So with these, you do have, these are all loose pieces. You have to pick it up with something. So there is what's called masking or a transfer sheet. So you put this on top. You squeegee it down to push the vinyl into the sticky side of it. This is a medium tack transfer. They have a high tack as well. This is more like a medium tack. But they also have the high tack as well. And a lot of people are using the high tack for like Jet Pro 3G and things like that. I haven't tried it yet. This medium tack to me doesn't pick up Jet Pro. So I like to kind of cut mine like this and put it down. And let's let it go down. Then we're going to grab our squeegee here. And you can hear it. Like those little crackles. It's sticking to the transfer tape. Okay. And I like to turn it over. Push it into it. Get all that air, get all those air bubbles out. You want to really, 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 really push it down into it. Okay. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna take this over to my desk because it's a hard surface. I just want to make sure that it's down so that it's not lifting up. And I'm just gonna make sure I'm going on the back side of it and just really squeezing it down, making sure it's, see, I have another little air pocket there. Just making sure it's adhered to my transfer tape. Yeah. I should have squeezed it a little bit more, but I've used this quite a few times now. So let's burnish that again. Like I said, this one is medium tack. That high tack picks it up so fast, but I've used this a couple of times, and this is more of like a medium tack. This is all they had at the time. I'm going to check it over here before I move it. And it's still sticking a little bit. I'm just going to pull it off over here because it's sticking, but my hard surface helps it come off. Try not to like, because see, like I did that one. Luckily, that is a piece that is loose, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. I didn't really stretch it out. Hold on. Gotta get this stuck to it. And also what you're doing with this is called a kiss cut. If you don't know that terminology, you're not cutting all the way through the backing. You want to cut just through the vinyl so that it can release. If you end up cutting a little bit too deep, that can affect how it picks up as well. If you cut too deep into your vinyl backing. I know this didn't cut too deep because it was on a setting for adhesive vinyl. It's just being not nice because I've used this piece of transfer tape quite a few times already. It's like you have to pick your battles. So sometimes with the high tack transfer tape, because it picks up like on everything. Once you put it on a shirt, sometimes you'll lose your stickiness because it picks up like everything and transfers to the tape. So it's a lot harder to keep using it. Like this one actually has, this has a lot of, I didn't realize that was at the bottom like that. Dang it. I should have probably went over this with a lint brush because there's actually quite a bit of the shirt fibers on here. All right, so that comes off. And give it 1 second. All right. So here it is on the sticky transfer. All right, what I do with the shirt now? Okay, here it is. You should definitely lint brush, which I don't think mine is in here. I think Even has it. I'm just gonna lightly brush it off. I like to fold my shirts in half, and that will allow me to get the center of the shirt to help with alignment. If I'm doing multiple shirts, I put a bunch of shirts on here at one time and stagger them and put the center line in all of them at the same time. All right, same, just like with any shirt, we pull the collar off of the front, off the edge of your heat press. And I will lint brush this afterwards. There's not much on there. All right, so we're going to take our transfer, and I'm going to line it up with that, like where I made the center mark on here, which I can't see anymore. Let me do it again. Oh, no. I did it on the other one, not on this. So I need to make my center mark with the transfer tape on, because I didn't do it with the transfer tape on, which this is where it's most important. You got to be careful with pulling it off prematurely or pulling it too hard if it's not stuck. Because especially with this supposed to be a circle, is a little bit off. So I'm just going to fold it. And I'm going to crease it so that I can line that up with the markings on here. So you can go about 4 down, but what I like to do is go off of center of chest. So this, like normally with unisex shirts, the armpits is the center of the chest. So I actually like that placement because it's like kind of like right in here. So it's about 4, which is about standard. Sometimes it goes a little bit lower. This is a medium shirt. So we're going, and I'm going to go to 4, which is 1 for 12 seconds. Press that. And then I'll take it off, and I'm going to use that same exact one to do the one for the back. This is not a sublimation transfer. This is Solvent. It's an Solvent transfer. All right, I may need to use a different piece because this has lint from the other shirts, but it's actually all good. Now I'm going to take my Teflon sheet or parchment paper and put it on top. I like to press it again just to really set that in. So you can see what you see is what you get with this. So it's not like you guys lost picture over on Facebook. Okay, there it is. So this is the print before it's pressed. And what happened over here? Okay, there we go. And this is after. So it's still the same. There is no activation of ink. Yes, I always take questions. I actually love questions. I live to answer questions. That is what my whole entire business is based around. So I'll explain. So your question is, can you explain the difference? Is this better than sublimation or transfer? So once I finish this, I'll go through, or as I'm going through it, I will explain it all. Is EcoSolve and DTF the same thing? No, it is not. It is not. like I said, I do have a full video that goes over the hype of it. I kind of break it down. I have my T-shirt Academy that's coming up. Well, there's a T-shirt design program, and then with the Academy, we're going over like pricing and designs and like all that stuff, all the different methods, going over everything from HTV to, you know, the get started way with doing Jet Pro 3G, DTF, DTG, breaking all those down, whether it's embroidery, you're doing HTV, screen print transfers, DTF transfers, rhinestones. Like, we're breaking all of it down, breaking down the pricing of it in the T-shirt Academy. So make sure that you get on the mailing list on my website, or you can click on the link in for the SVG course. I'm still going to send out information to everybody about all the upcoming courses. But if you go and get on our mailing list on the website where it says get class updates, you'll get the emails about the classes. You know what I forgot to do? Let me see. Can I see the crease in here? I mean, not really, but it's okay. All right, we're going to go like this. Just going to make sure that my shirt sits evenly on here. I pull my collar right off because that's where I'm going to put the top of my design for the back of this. And we're going to mask this. I'm going to actually attempt, there's a lot of this black shirt on here, but I'm going to attempt to mask this with the exact same one. I'm going to go up closer to the top since I have to put the QR code on here as well. That's the center. That's the center. That's the center. But we got to come up some. Oh, come on. So this is why I wasn't worried about where it was, because I'm still putting it on the same transfer. And we're going to do the same thing as far as burnishing it down. Can I get it to stick while over here? All right, not really. Okay, I'm taking it back to my desk because this is a soft surface. I'm taking it to my desk so that I can burnish it. Okay, so while I'm furnishing this down, I'll explain the difference. So as far as transfers, people will say shirt transfers. There's a million ways a transfer can be made. A sublimation print is a transfer because you print it, somebody else will press it. That is a transfer. DTF is a transfer. DTF is opaque ink, kind of sort of. So the white makes it opaque, meaning you can print the white ink on there and it's not like with sublimation. You put sublimation on here, ink is translucent, so you won't see the color. You won't see the color if you just put ink on here because this is black. Whereas DTF, it puts an opaque layer of white. Opaque meaning that it is a solid white. So now when you put it on something, you're seeing that white come through and you're able to see the colors. So with DTF, it is not a water-based ink. It is a thicker type like ink. And it comes out, you print it onto a film. Then you put an adhesion powder on the back. And then you have to set that adhesion powder with heat. Some people use a heat gun. Some people put it in their convection oven. If you are someone that's already doing screen printing, you probably have a conveyor belt, like the conveyor dryer. You may have a flash dryer, but you have to set that, and you have to be very careful with how you set. Oh, and also there's a big printer now where it's like it prints it out, it shakes the powder on it, and it's a heater at the end. It'll heat it all for you because it has to be at the right temperature. You cannot overcure it. If you overcure it, then the adhesion powder won't work on your garment. Screen print transfers are basically the same way, except they're printing with what's called plastisol ink. So they print with that ink. It's one to where it's wet. They put the adhesion powder, pretty much the same exact adhesion powder. Then you have to heat set that as well. And then once it's heat set, you're able to just take that transfer, press it to a shirt. So they're not the same. Sublimation is heat activated. So what you see is not what you get. When you print it out, you won't see the full colors. You need heat to activate that ink to see the full and final vibrant colors. Printable transfers such as Jet Pro 3G, kind of the same concept, except that's not vinyl. It's more of a film. If you stretch it, you'll see how it like pulls, especially like the ones for lights. So it's a transfer film. It is not. People always say, oh yeah, we have heat transfer vinyl. It is not a heat transfer vinyl. It is a film. It will tear in like 2.5 seconds. If you pull it the wrong way, that sucker will tear when you are weeding it and all that stuff. So it's not a vinyl. So that's kind of like, in a nutshell, all of them. My t-shirt talk goes over it. That's about to go away. Once the T-Shirt Academy drops, the T-Shirt Talk class for $15, where I just break down all the different methods, that will go away. So if you're not wanting to take the full-on class, that's going to be a couple of $103.65 for just the design program. If you want to get into the full academy, it is $205.63, I think it is, which is a 6-month program. And we're going to break down all the different methods. We're going to go over pricing for them and what's more cost effective, what is, when you can have like beginner, but some of them is like a lot of work. So if you don't have a lot of orders and you're just wanting to get your feet wet, some methods are better than others because it's a low entry cost compared to investing a bunch of money into something and you don't know if you really have an audience for it. You know, knowing when it's best to outsource versus trying to get your own printer and your own equipment. When you're first starting out, it really is better to outsource it so that you know if you even have a market for it. Most people go and they jump into this and find out that what they jumped into is not what their customers wanted. And now they've moved on because it's like, okay, you're saying you don't do X, Y, and Z anymore, but that's why I came to you. You've moved on, so I need to find somebody who can fit my needs. So you have to be mindful of that. Just because everybody else is doing something doesn't mean it's going to work for you because it may not work for your customer base. If you're not ready to seek out a new customer base, then you may want to slowly ease into new methods of making shirts and decorating apparel. Okay, yeah, this, I should have guys got a new sheet. I was being lazy and cheap because this is actually an extra shirt. I'm doing this video for someone, so I don't really mind because she actually graced my Cash App and said, can you please do a video? It doesn't have to be a one-on-one. I just need some general questions answered. I wanted to see like the full process and stuff like that. So she blessed my Cash App, so I am here. So she basically paid for this client to have an extra shirt. I'm sorry. Yeah, this transfer tape is through Dylan. It is definitely going in the garbage after this print. Because this is not the move. This is quite janky, might I say. And trying to get this off. It normally doesn't take this long to transfer it and to mask it off, but this is not really sticky in any way, shape, or form at this point. So it took a little bit longer to get it to adhere to this transfer tape. All right, but we are all set now. I have the QR code at the bottom. We're going to fold this in half, find my middle point, which I kind of put that one a little bit off the QR code. All right. So I'm going right up to the back of that collar because I don't want to put a pressing pillow in here. So I'm going like the collar is right off of the back of it. So I'm putting this pretty much right to the top. All right, I mean, you can go and measure. I'm going to go like this. So it's like until my, like that little piece there. So I'm going to go on this side. So it can go over just a smidge. that way. So let's try and get this to go over just a snap. I'm not gonna mess with it. It's like literally only like a hairline off. All right, so there we go. And we're gonna go back to number 4 so we can do the full 12 seconds. All right, so over here, I answered that when Eagle Solvent DTF the same thing. No, it's not. You're doing t-shirts with the Roland. What? I mean, I never said I wasn't going to do shirts with it. It's just not what I purchased it for. I didn't purchase my Roland to do shirts, but I mean, when someone wants something, I mean, of course I'm going to use it. What was your determining factor for choosing an Eagle Solvent print and cut machine equipment over latex cut? The BN20 is an entry-level one, so the cost of it was the main thing. So that was the main thing for me. I really wanted an Eagle Solvent printer for stickers and helmet decals and things like that, not necessarily for shirts. So I went with a true Eagle Solvent printer because you cannot do actual decals like on 651, on Aurajet, digital media, like for car wraps and stuff like that. You cannot print that out with a regular converted Eagle Solvent printer. So I went with the BN20 because it's the entry level one. Good advice for providing customers a particular service that you aren't already doing. You're right. What I have to do with my Jet Pro to transfer is use weeding tools. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what you have to do for that one. Let's see. She says you lost me. How much are the printers? I don't remember how much these by itself. I have to go look at Swing Design or Johnson's Plastics Plus. I think they have it as well. But I got a full set because, like I said, I wanted more so for decals and like vinyl decals. So I got a laminator machine. So mine was about $10,000. I actually just made the last payment this month. Woohoo! All right. So we're going to. Ooh, and the adhesive is on there from the other one. So yeah, I use this one too many times because I can see the adhesive. But like I said, this is an extra shirt, but they can wash that and that will definitely come off. And I'll probably take a damp rag and get it off as well. All right, I'm gonna just put this on top. I personally like to just go ahead and set it. So we're gonna put that on there, and we're just gonna press this again for a couple seconds just to set that. The name of the printer that I use is a Roland. I'm going to put it in here in the comments for you. It is a Roland BN20. Let me see something. I really don't remember which one this is. Actually, I think that's a color thing. I mean, that's a subby thing. I mean, okay, hold on. No, what the heck? Where'd it go? Well, I be dang. And I don't know which side is which. Hold on, let me grab another piece. Because now I don't know which side is which. Where is my Teflon sheet? Eco Solvent can print white. If you get that format, yes, it can. So I have the metallic format. Actually, this one didn't do too bad. Normally it will change. It actually changed it a little bit, but it didn't do it too bad. It actually didn't change it that much on that one. But a lot of times, like with the white, if you guys saw me do that jersey, so I did a jersey with a QR code jersey, and on that first video, it turned like a grayish color because the dye bled through onto the. Actually, what's this? This may have been subly thin. I don't know. I was trying to show the colors, but if you watch my other video and I did the jersey, the polyester bled through. But yeah, so here is the third shirt of the set. This is a free shirt for them because I already had the V-neck and this one. But since they didn't come pick up their shirts today, they got an extra one because someone wanted to know about making them. So she said, so can it print white? This is print on a white substrate. So if I were to print onto clear, I cannot get white. I went with the metallic setup. So I can print labels that have like a true metallic look to it. And because I originally got it so that I can do football helmets. And sometimes they like that metallic look. I went with the metallic silver, but you can produce any type of metallic colors. They also have a version where it's 2 magentas. If you're not going to do a lot of clear media, like window clings or clear stickers and things like that, just go with a double magenta. It's not worth it to get because the cartridges are a lot more expensive. You have to print more because the white and the silver can clog up. So you have to, and the silver one, a replacement for that is like $200 for that cartridge, and they don't make third parties for the silver. She said I would have to finance it. And let's see, am I missing any questions? Is this a good technique for someone that's new to this? I mean, a lot of people are doing this and they're doing it with a converted printer. So if you want to get into this at the ground level and test it out first, you can convert a printer, any printer. Like I said, I have a Canon that I'm doing it with. Most people are using like Epson's because people think that that's like the only printer to convert. It's the only printer that you can convert for sublimation. This is not like sub. It's not a what you see. This is a what you see is what you get. It's not heat activated. What type of printer you can use for this technique? Oh, so I answered that one already. Let's see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, any other questions? Watch the heat with your shirt. Oh, Child Plus, it's a 305. It don't do nothing to it. I leave them shirts there all the time. I don't left a whole shirt sitting on top of it and do nothing to it. Not with this Roland. I mean, with that Hottronics. I leave stuff on that thing all the time. I know it's such a bad habit. Let's see. Am I missing any questions over here? I don't think so. Let's see. Any questions? Any questions? Nope, not missing any questions. All right. If there are no other questions, which printer do you recommend to convert? I don't have any recommendations for converting because I'm not really into the whole converted printer. For me, I got the printer that did the job because, again, I mainly wanted for it. Any printer can work. In looking at colors, I personally don't really see like great colors to me when it comes to using like the workforce printers because they use pigment ink. Again, I do have a full video. If you search YouTube for Honestly Speaking, it's spelled just like it is here on our sublimation paper. SpINKing. So the same way it is here. If you search that on YouTube, Honestly Speaking, Eco Solvent Hype, I show you the inks, the way the different inks are. I talk more about what Eco Solvent is, the pros and the cons of it. So it's a full detail. It's like an hour-long video. It's full of details, like a mini class on Eco Solvent. So you can get a converted one, and then you can print with your printer and then use like your Cameo, your 12-inch or your 15 if you want to use the Pro. Y'all know. Well, if you don't know, although I teach Silhouette, my whole entire business is built around Silhouette. I can't stand the Pro I think it's the dumbest decision they ever made. So I don't ever recommend the Pro. No, that's just me. It's just in everything that I know about cutters and just how Silhouette works. I don't recommend the Pro to anyone. And like I said in the beginning, the converted printers will print this out faster. This front and back, like just one of them, took 32 minutes. So it took 32 minutes to print this out and to cut it. So the BN20 is not a fast printer. It is a quality printer. It is the best quality, like one of the best quality eco-solvent printers as far as resolution and quality, but it prints slow. And because of the way that the blade works, it cuts even slower. So it takes a really long time. How do I feel about laser printers? Love them. We are actually about to get one of those. Like, we are in the market for one. I want it more so because I do like service programs, like obituaries and things. So you can get the white toner. A white toner printer is just a laser printer. So you can print stuff like this from your white toner printer, people. You don't have to get like a totally separate printer. A white toner printer is a laser printer. But we're wanting one of the big ones with the finishers, like all that stuff. But I think white toner printers are great. But for me personally, not for shirts. I don't like the way they feel. Now, they do have this material that's like a nice silver, like they're just solid colors. I love those shirts now. Absolutely love the metallic shirts and the different color, like the solid colors. But when it comes to printing it, because it's toner, those can feel a bit heavy to me. So I'm not I'm not all gun-ho on white toner transfers because I'm not a big fan of the feel of them. But I love laser printers, and we're actually in the market to where I want the one that has the white toner, but they have like this really, really big one that has a finisher on it and everything. So we're looking to that. That sucker is ridiculously expensive, but I can get a regular laser that's 13 by 19 and have the finisher and pay maybe about $7,000 to $8,000 less, maybe even $10,000 less. But I want the white ink for invitations and for like acrylic stuff. So when we're doing the pull-on print shop, I want the white toner. So yes, I love laser printers, just not so much for shirts. Yes, the BN20A is the new version. With that one, there's no white, there's no silver. So it's just magenta. It's just the double magenta. I love that. You always get, I did not think to do that. Information. Dang it. You are always, yes, my love. You know what? You let me know which academy you want to. You always, yes, I love that. Great information. Let me email me, theprofessor@hsink365.com. Let me know which academy you want to be enrolled in. SVG, T-shirt, or the Event Academy. Girl, I like them. I have to start using that information. For your information, I'm gonna weigh y'all down with that one. I was going to look into white toners for stickers where can do transparent stickers with white ink behind actual design. Yes. Stitch It International, check them out. Oh, so you're laughing. So the whole thing is like everything I do is ink because of the way that our name is. So I'll always say Incredible, Amaze Ink. So, and I think she's the one that says Amazing. So I always try and kind of like, I always try and do like something like besides ING or some things like that. I put ink. Like we had Christmas. I say Merry Inkmas. So I'm big on branding. This is like the major part for us. So I'm always trying to figure out ways to change words so I can put ink. I'm all about branding. So now, yes, for your information. Oh, thank you, Miss Williams. So we do have Sublimation ink, Sublimation paper. Definitely check out the website. Link is in the bio. It takes you to my link tree and it'll take you to my YouTube channels, my website. You'll be able to sign up for classes. If you want to learn how to design in Silhouette Studio, I have an amazing 30-day training. It is the best investment. It literally prepares you for any design program. My 30-day silhouette training will have you prepared for any design program that you want to upgrade to because of how I break it down and how tools work and functions work. I learned how to raster my images and make soft to the hand. Yes, because you definitely can. So it's not really, people say raster, but it's like you're basically putting the halftone on it. So they say raster. Technically, whatever you create in there, you can rasterize the image because there's just like a button on it. But what you're doing is you're kind of putting almost like a halftone on it so that it's made up of little dots. And yes, that will make it soft to the touch, but some people don't like that look of like the little halftone type dots in it. That's going to create that look. Now, from far away, you can't really tell. When you get up on it, you can see those little dots. But yes, that is one that you can use, like a method that you can use for white toner. All right, no questions over on Facebook and YouTube. No more questions over on TikTok, although I'll probably hang out with you guys a little bit longer if you have any questions over on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. Don't forget to visit the website, shop.hsink365.com. You still enroll. It's self-paced, the 30-day silhouette training. That will be the foundation for all of the academies. Now, when we go into the academies, I am not branding my academies as for beginners. You're more than welcome to join as beginner because I'm going to take it somewhat slow, but we're getting into the nitty-gritties of designing. I've given you guys 7 years of beginner content for free on Facebook and YouTube. My academies, we're getting down to business, so I am not branding them as for beginners. Beginners is taking the 30-day training. Understand the program, because when we get into designing, we need to spend that whole hour working on designs and not going back over the basics. So that is your foundation. Start at the 30-day training. All right. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.